Ghanshyam sir, good morning. Sir, good morning. Sir, am I audible? Hello.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, yes, now audible, sir. Am I audible, sir?
So shall we proceed?
Sir, we'll wait another for 4 minutes at least. Students are joining.
Okay, okay. Okay,
So
okay,
let
sir.
it be 60 plus, then we'll start. Because generally
Okay,
100 students plus are joining daily.
okay,
Another 4 minutes, sir. We'll wait, then start.
okay, okay.
Sir, you can start.
Okay.
50 students have joined. You can start. So another faculty is there who has taken some classes in the early of the summer school. Is Sumit Kumar Tetarve. Huh? So he has also done his MTech, PhD here in IIT Patna and IIT Hyderabad. That's under the guidance of Satya Peri, Dr. Satya Peri. He
Okay.
is in IIT Hyderabad. He has also done his PDF from USA, some university, I've forgotten. He's also with us. So we'll see after this if someone who is interested, seriously, they want to do something. So we can take those students, we can guide those students in internship during the internship. We'll see. Okay, sir, we can start, sir.
So I will be sharing my screen.
Uh, yes, just a minute, sir. Yes, sir. Now you can share. I made you host, so we can share.
I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You.
Okay. 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 So good morning all. So today's session. Yesterday, the first session we covered the ransomware attack. We have seen the demo of a proof of concept crypto locker. Okay, and the next second session yesterday we have discussed uh, man in the middle attack. Okay, using ARP cache poison. Okay. So today our session is about drive-by download attack and the potential solutions. Okay. So why I have considered this is a drive-by download attack. So let us understand this. Okay, why it is so important. Okay. So this is the outline of my talk today. So first we will see the MITRE. We'll discuss the MITRE attack matrix. Okay, and then we'll discuss the drive-by download attack in detail. Typical drive-by download attack, drive-by download or drive-by compromise. You can call it like that also. So what is the process? What are the notable incidents of drive-by compromise attack? And then a small drive-by download demonstration I will do to make you understand it in a better way. And then we'll see some potential mitigations. What are the potential data sources for detection of drive-by compromise attack? And a small solution developed by my student in the form of Chrome extension that I will try to demonstrate. Okay, and what are the limitations of that? Okay, so let us begin with the MITRE attack framework. Okay, so MITRE attack framework talks about so it's a kind of knowledge base. Okay, it talks about the attack techniques, tactics, and procedures used by the attacks which happen worldwide. Okay, so it talks about what are the techniques used by the attackers, cyber criminals. Okay, under each technique, what are the tactics being used. So just see, when we say talk about the techniques, so any cyber attack for the enterprise network starts with the reconnaissance phase. Here I have in the figure at right hand side, you can see any cyber attack at the enterprise level starts with the reconnaissance. Means this cyber criminal will try to gather as much as information about the potential victim. Okay. So that what is that information? So that information can be anything, starting from your IP addresses, where your resources are located, what are their types, whether it is a database server, whether it is a web server, what are the services running onto those devices, what are the ports open onto those devices, all those things, all that data. Okay, so so the very first phase is about the reconnaissance. Then once the as much as information gathered about the potential victim, attacker will start gathering the resources. Okay, so better let me show you through this website, MITRE attack framework, then you will get more clarity about it. So I will share it here. Okay, so I hope the MITRE attack framework website is visible to you. So just see here. Here we are having a different matrices. Okay, and it talks about adversary tactics and techniques based on real world observations. So you see here that attack matrix for enterprise, we are having total 14 tactics, okay, starting from reconnaissance, resource development, initial access, and execution. So under reconnaissance, we can see different techniques used by the attacker to do the reconnaissance of the victim, to gather the information to stage the attack. Attacker does uses various techniques under reconnaissance. So what they do, they can do the active scanning. Okay, under active scanning, they can scan the IP blocks, they can do the vulnerability scanning, they can do the world list scanning. Okay, like that. So under then again, they can gather the information about the host, they can gather victim identity information about the personnel, they can gather the information about the network segmentation, where firewall is kept, where IDS is kept. Okay, so like that, they can gather as much as information about the target organization. Okay, then they can do the some resource development. They will do, they will acquire some access, they can acquire some infrastructure for, if they wanted to stage the bot. Okay, they wanted to do the distributed denial of service attack, then they will have, they need to have the lot of infrastructure. So they will set up the bot, they will acquire the botnets, they can compromise the accounts, something like that. And when you look at the third tactic is the initial access. Means the attacker, after doing the reconnaissance and after acquiring that, after doing the resource development, they will try to compromise the very first machine of the victim organization or target organization. And how they can do, by multiple means they can do that. So they can do the content injection, they can do the drive by compromise. So today's I'm going to talk about the drive by compromise. Okay, and the remaining tactics and techniques under each techniques are there. So around there are 14 tactics, okay, are there under a typical cyber attack scenario, and this is based on the real world observations. Okay, so by analyzing the real world attack scenarios, they come up with this data that for an enterprise network, if there is a cyber attack, typical cyber attack, there are 14 tactics are there, and under each tactic there are some techniques are there. So today I am going to talk about the tactic initial access, how the infection happens, and using drive by so how that, what technique I am considering drive by compromise. This is for the enterprise network. If you talk about the mobile network, okay, or the mobile device, there also there is a possibility of drive by compromise is there. Just okay, so for the, if somebody infects your mobile phone or somebody compromises your mobile phone, then it starts with the initial access, and there also drive by compromises there, one of the technique. And when you talk about the industrial control system, here here also you can see in the very first tactic, the technique used for the initial access is a drive by compromise. Means almost, whether it is an enterprise network, whether it is your mobile phone, or whether it is an industrial control system or a cyber physical system, the initial drive by compromise or drive by download is used as one of the technique to infect the very first machine. Okay, that's what I'm going to talk about, this drive by compromise. Now let me go back to my presentation. Okay, so why it is so important drive by compromise, we understood through the MITRE attack framework, because it is one of the technique which is heavily used or primarily used for the initial access. Now let us take the example of malware. Okay, any malware. So malware infecting the enterprise network, or malware infecting the industrial control system or mobile phone, how it will do. So let us take the example of ransomware here. Okay, so if ransomware want to infect one of the machine, how it can infect, either through the spear phishing attachment. Okay, the attachment come as a spear phishing. Okay, so target, okay, so you know about the spear phishing. So phishing which is targeted, okay, phishing done for exclusively for the high value target or a high value person. So a malicious attachment will come there, and the user can, a phishing mail will come, there will be a URL. The user will click the URL, it is genuinely looking URL, but once the user clicks the URL, a web page will be opened, but in between a malicious attachment will be downloaded without user consent or knowledge. Okay, so just see here, one of the uh, attack vector for initial access is a drive by compromise, the very first. Okay, so it is very important to understand the drive by compromise as the attack vector. Now what we are going to study today here, so first we will discuss the drive by download attack, what are the different stages, how it happens basically. Then we will have a small demonstration of it. Okay, I will give you a small demo to make you understand. Okay, So it is not a real world demonstration. It is created for the understanding purpose, for academic purpose, to make you understand. Then how we can detect that that unauthorized download, the files which is downloaded through without user consent, and then how we can quarantine the download file. So I will take you through these 4 steps to make you understand drive-by compromise. Now let us deep dive into the drive-by compromise. So just see, you can see it here. Basically, this drive-by download, or you can call it a drive-by compromise, or you can call it a drive-by target also. Okay, there are different names are there for the same thing. Basically, it is a part of initial access. Okay, so to infect the very first machine in an enterprise network, or a mobile phone, or the machine in an industrial control system, or device in an industrial control system, to infect the very first machine, or to take the access of the very first machine, this drive-by compromise can be used as a attack vector. Now, basically, why it is so important to study? Because attacker want to get the internal access to the access to the device which is internal to the system or enterprise. So I'm not talking about public facing website or public facing application of the enterprise network. I'm talking about the device which is inside a network, which is not publicly exposed to the users. So if you want to take the access of that particular computer, what you can do, you can stage the drive-by compromise attack. Means what you can do, you can craft a phishing mail sent to that particular person. In that phishing mail, have a genuinely looking URL. Once the user clicks that URL, something unwanted or malicious thing will be downloaded to the user's computer, and it will be get executed there automatically, and it will give the access to the attacker by some means. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So in that way, drive-by compromise is very dangerous. Okay, so as I said, it is commonly give adversary access to the system on internal network instead of external systems. Okay, we can call it is a basically it happens using a compromised website. So what attacker do? Attacker, because you see, there are some websites are there. The millions of users are accessing those, are visiting those websites on a daily basis. Those websites can be a newspaper websites, maybe can be GitHub repos, or can be anything. So what attacker does? Attacker finds such websites, compromise them. Okay, compromise those websites, and whenever the user visits such websites, whoever visits these websites or web pages, something will be downloaded onto their computer. Okay, so something means some sort of malicious file will be downloaded. So this is also called as a watering hole attack. Watering hole attack means the lot of so many visitors or so many users are visiting a particular website for a particular purpose. So the attacker is compromising that particular website or that particular web page, and once somebody visits that web page, their machine, a malicious thing will be downloaded to their computer. Okay, it can be a small file. Okay, and that malicious thing could be a malware. Okay, it will downloads automatically without user interaction, and in the worst case, it will be get executed automatically without user consent. So users simply visiting a particular web page, but upon visiting a web page, a malware will get downloaded to their computer without their consent, without their knowledge, and that malware will be auto executed. So by the time user comes to know something is downloaded, their machine is infected with the malware. Okay, and upon execution of that malware, upon installing that particular malicious thing, it deletes the downloaded file. So there will be no trace of something is downloaded. Okay, even it may delete the browser history also. So there is no clue that what got downloaded into the browser, something. Okay, so here, what just see the diagram here. There is a compromised sites are there. Attacker will compromise a particular site, a well-known site, and once the user visits. Okay, so once the users visit that particular site, based on the bug in the user's machine browser, the malicious thing or malicious attachment will get downloaded, and that malicious attachment is a kind of payload which exploits the browser vulnerabilities. Okay, so sometimes what will happen, your browser will not give you the notification, or some security settings are there in your browser. It will disable those security setting in your browser, And after that, the payload will be delivered to your system. And upon delivering that payload, that particular payload will be auto executed and it will infect your system. So this is what the process is. Okay. So here comes the role of the bugs in your browsers also. That's why, as a best practices, we should keep all our browsers up to date all the time. Okay, because in drive-by compromise attack, the attacker may exploit the bug in the browsers or vulnerabilities in the browsers. And what is the consequences of that? A malicious payload will be delivered to your system and it will infect your computer. Okay, this is what it is. Now, what is it? This is a typical drive-by compromise process. So just see here, I make you understand through the diagram here. So there is an attacker, okay, and this attacker exploits an existing legitimate website. So there is a legitimate website is there. Attacker, what is that? He compromises that particular website. And here we are having users here. Okay, so users are visiting these websites. Okay, so users browsers to okay, browses the compromised website. Upon browsing the compromised website, some hidden Java exploit, something will be downloaded to the attackers to the victim computer or the user's computer. After that, that malicious thing can be remote access trojan also, rat. And once that rat gets downloaded and executed without user's consent in the background, it will give remote access to the attacker. Okay, so these victim computers remote access given to the attacker without user's consent. That's what attacker can do. Attacker can gain the remote control of this computer. He can control. Okay, and attacker can gather the sensitive data stored onto this computer, passwords or whatever it may be, or he can watch the user activities very closely. He can log everything, and that knowledge he can use onto the legitimate website in order to monetize uh, the stolen credentials, or they can misuse or abuse those credentials or stolen data. So this is what the overall procedure is. So basically here, what is important? The drive-by compromise. What user is doing? Basically, user is using visiting a particular website or web page, and that web page is compromised by the attacker. Okay, so this is the typical process of drive by compromise or drive by download attack. Okay, that's why it is very important to study. Okay, what are the notable incidences of drive by compromise attack? If you see the MITRE attack framework, so there is a dedicated web page is there for drive by compromise. If you look at that particular page in MITRE attack framework, there are various notable incidences of drive by compromise attacks are there. So APT-19, it is a Chinese hacking group. APT-28, it's a Russian hacking group. APT-32, it's a North Korea hacking group. So these are all hacking groups. What they do, they infect victims by tricking them into visiting compromised watering hole websites. So they identify the user and which websites are very popular. If the particular website is very popular, because nowadays the website, statistics also publish which is the most famous website. So means millions of users are visiting that particular website. So attacker wants to compromise as many as machines. Okay, they want to compromise as many as machines. They wanted to increase their profit. So what they will do, they will identify such websites and they will try to compromise these websites. Okay, and whoever visits the website, malicious or malware attachment get downloaded to their computer and it will infect their computer. So you might have heard about the Revil, Resident Evil kind of ransomware. It infects victim machine through compromised website and exploit kids. You might have heard about the Operation Duststorm. It also what the threat actor does. It used the watering hole attack on a particular software reseller to exploit the zero-day Internet Explorer vulnerability. There was a vulnerability in the Internet Explorer. So if you browse a particular website using an Internet Explorer having this vulnerability, the malicious attachment will be downloaded to your computer without your knowledge or consent, and it will be executed. Next one is the Lazarus group from the North Korea. Okay, they use the malicious code to victim via a compromised legitimate website. So you can see that almost in every incident there is a use of compromised website. Okay, so once the user visits a compromised website, the malicious attachment get downloaded to their computer. There's a Dragonfly also uses the strategic website. They compromise the website and then based on that, whoever visits this compromised website, the victim computers get infected. There is a bad rabbit, which is also ransomware. Okay, and it uses again the watering hole tactics on popular websites, and it injects JavaScript into HTML body or .js file. So like that. So some sort of injection will happen into the legitimate website pages, and those pages will be compromised. And whoever visits those pages, their machine will get infected with the malicious attachment. Okay, so this is what the overall thing is. Okay, so these are the notable incidences. I have shown some of them. So what we will do today, okay, so I will try to give you a small demo of drive-by download attack. So assume user, user got a sort of mail, which is a sort of phishing mail. In this phishing mail, there is a genuinely looking URL is there. It looks like a genuine URL. Of course, the user will click that genuine URL, but that URL, but basically it is the URL. It's a basically the malicious URL. Uh, it takes you to the malicious website or compromised web page, and then from there it will redirect you to the original web page or authentic web page. So the redirection happens so fast that a user may not notice this redirection, but in between, a malicious attachment will be downloaded to the user's computer. So you see, the user once clicks a URL in a phishing email, it will take the user to the web page for a very short duration. Okay, and once somebody visits that compromised web page or fake web page, the malicious attachment will be downloaded, start downloading, and immediately it will redirect the user from there to the legitimate website. So that user will not notice that something is downloaded in between. Okay, so in that way, it is downloaded, and then once it will be downloaded, it will be executed, auto executed, it will compromise the machine. So when you talk about this is what the drive-by compromise happens. So what I will explain again, I will give you the demo of monitoring also. How we can watch or how we can monitor the files which are downloaded without user consent, and some sort of detection mechanism, Chrome-based detection mechanism, I will explain. Okay. So this is what the flow of today's talk. So just see here, as I said, there will be a phishing email. Okay, so email contains a malicious link. So just see, this is the email sent by my student to me. Okay, to me. Okay, Mr. Deepak sent an email to me. He's saying that there is an unauthorized login attempt on my account, and okay, so to secure account, please verify your identity immediately by clicking the link below. So if I'm not so security conscious, then what I will do, I will try to click this link. So once I will try to click this link, it will redirect me to the malicious website, okay, crafted website or particular web page. And from there, once I will, it will, once I will be there onto this particular web page, the malicious attachment will be downloaded and it will redirect me to the some other website. So just see what will happen. So it will take me to the first fake web page, okay, which is not at all visible, and immediately it will take me to the genuine web page. Okay, so I'm seeing this genuine web page. Okay, but in between, from malicious web page to the genuine web page, something will be downloaded to my computer. Okay, so it will start downloading some malicious attachment. But as a user, I'm seeing the genuine web page. So my focus is onto this genuine web page, but in background something will be downloaded. Okay, I may not notice that thing, and by the time even I notice, that thing will get executed and my machine will be infected, and the downloaded thing will get deleted automatically, and even it may delete the browser history also, the what is the recent file is downloaded. So there is no clue of what is down, what went wrong. Okay, so that may happen. Okay, so this is a thing. So anyway, I'm going to demonstrate it. Okay, so let us go for the demonstration. So what I did, I have took one virtual machine here. Okay, one virtual machine I have taken. This virtual machine is having some malicious web page hosted. Okay, so it is having a malicious web page. So I will just log in this. Okay, so here in this particular machine, onto this directory, a major project port server directory. I have created one equal server.js. Okay, so there is a server. Okay, I'm starting the server. Okay, node.js server, and there are some web pages are there. Okay, one web page we have created. I have started that server, and the IP address of this particular computer is, if I will say, uh, the IP address is 10.1.1.46. This is IP address. So what I will do, okay, so as the server is running here onto this particular computer, server is running here, what the user will do, what the attacker will do, attacker will compromise a particular web page here. Okay, it will compromise. So what will happen here? So when, so I'm having, okay, there is some disturbance. Any question is there?
Okay, sir, muted. You can continue.
Okay. So this is the virtual machine I have taken. Actually, just try to understand here. We are having some web pages. We are having one original web page. Okay, which is hosted here. That web page. In that web page, certain lines of code we have written. Those lines of code have written in such a way that whoever visit that particular web page, a file will be downloaded to their computer. So just see here, I'm just opening the home page. Okay, so home is ready. So where it is ready? Okay, it's here. So you see here, we are having this directory, major project. Within that, we are having another folder, and here one file is there. Where is that? SRC, not here. Not here. Public. I just wanted to show the file which will get downloaded upon visiting a web page. Server files here. So just see, there is a file inside a server folder. So whoever visits a web page hosted onto this server, this file ransomware.txt. I have taken a simple example. I could have taken the executable file also as an example, but I am taking a simple file just to demonstrate that upon visiting a particular web page, something will be downloaded to your computer without your knowledge. So this particular file will be downloaded to the user's computer. And if you see the content, some content is here. I have kept just some content. So your file has been encrypted, all your input, some data is there. So objective is like this. Uh, Whoever visits this particular web page, the file ransomware.txt will be downloaded to their computer without their knowledge. Okay, so that is what the idea is. Okay, so this server is running on port 5000. So what I will do, this is a virtual machine I have taken. I will assume this virtual machine is a server, and now I assume that this particular my Windows machine, is a kind of machine from where it's a user machine from where I am accessing this particular web page. So what I will do, I will just specify HTTP : this IP address. I will specify the server IP address, which is 10.1.1.46, and I will specify the uh, port numbers. So just see, once I will click this, once I will hit enter button. So what happened basically? Just see here, two screens are there. So here I have entered the URL, IP address and the port number. But what happened basically? It took me to the malicious web page. And because of that malicious web page, a file. Just see here, a file called ransomware.txt downloaded to my computer. And but in between, user may not notice this thing because this particular web page is visible to the user. So just see, so user focus will be on this web page. So I will click it again to make you understand. So here, if I click this, just see here. So point is like this. So it takes the user to the another web page so fast that the user may not notice that something get downloaded to their computer in between. One more thing I would like to say that today, okay, there is, just see, you can notice there is a button. It pop up something. It pop up something that something is downloaded. I will do it again. Just see, you may notice some change here. You see here, it shows me that ransomware.txt is downloaded. What attacker can do that? Attacker will exploit the flaws in your browser, and they can disable this option. So if something is downloaded to your computer, it will not give you any hint. Means you are totally unaware of what is anything is downloaded onto your computer, because you are just seeing this web page. Okay. So after taking you to a malicious web page, it redirects you to the genuine web page, and in between something will be downloaded in the form of a file, a malicious attachment. This malicious attachment, I have shown you the txt file. It could be a executable file. Once it will be downloaded, it will auto execute. It will auto execute, and then it will infect your machine. So even though you will notice a change that something is downloaded, you don't have much time to respond, because the human reflex action is very slow. So what will happen by the time you will go back and respond? What will happen? This ransomware may get executed onto your computer, okay, and it will infect your machine. So the time by the time you respond, you are too late. You are too late. That is the point. So what will happen basically? What so upon visiting this particular web page, something will be downloaded. Malicious attachment will be downloaded to the victim computer, and it will take him to the genuine web page. So user focus will be on to this, and attacker can disable this option also, because normally something downloaded onto the your computer using a browser, if you are browsing, you are downloading, it will flash you, it will give you the notification. That notification can be disabled also. So I don't know, today it's not working. Maybe my browser got upgraded, so that's why it is not working, this option. Otherwise it was working. So if you, as the browser is updated, this option is somehow, again I need to disable it. It was not showing this. Okay. So user is totally unaware of something is downloaded onto their computer, and by the time they respond, or they can see their machine is infected with the malware or remote access trojan, whatever it may be. Okay. So this is what it is. So let me go back to my presentation. Okay, here. Okay. So this is the way it can happen. Okay. So upon downloading, okay, so between two web page, so first upon clicking this link, okay, so definitely the way I have shown you this one, the way we have accessed this particular web page, it can be a kind of url in your phishing email. It can be a kind of url. So you may think that you are browsing the genuine url. Okay, you are visiting the genuine website, but first it will take you to the fake website. Okay, upon visiting that fake website or web page, malicious attachment will be start downloading, and immediately it will take you to uh, the genuine web page. Okay, so it will happen like that. Okay, so I'm not showing through the phishing email, I'm just showing through the browser. Okay, to simplify it. Now let us see what are the solutions available with us here. Okay, so just see. So here, so what are the solutions are existing solutions are available with us. So what are the potential mitigations against the drive-by compromise attack? So what you can do some sort of application isolation or sandboxing. Okay, so you can use the browser sandboxes. Okay, so you might know the concept of sandboxing. So the application runs in a particular memory area which is totally separate from the other application areas. Okay, so that if the one particular application get infected, it may not infect the other applications, okay, which are running onto the computer. So you may use the browser sandboxes, or you can do the application microsegmentation. So this is one of the solution which is potential mitigation is available, but it doesn't guarantee you the 100% solution against the drive-by compromise attack, because it again depends on vulnerabilities in your browsers. Next one is exploit protections. There may be vulnerabilities in your browsers. So attacker may take the help of, may exploit those vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities in Internet Explorer, vulnerabilities in Chrome. So if those are the zero-day vulnerabilities, definitely there will be no solution against them. So if it is a well-known vulnerability, you try to patch it or keep your browsers updated. That is the best solution you can have. But against the zero-day browser vulnerabilities, you don't have any solution against. Then you restrict your web page content. Okay,
Sir,
so
Please
just
share
let's,
your
yes,
please share your screen, sir. It's not visible.
yes, sir, your screen is not visible.
yes, something happened. I will reshare again. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes.
Okay, how long it was not invisible? Just let me know so that I can repeat it again.
Just 1 minute, just 30 seconds or 1 minute. It's okay,
So
sir.
I
You
will.
can
Okay,
carry on.
fine. So I was talking about potential mitigations against the drive-by compromise which are available. Okay, so first one is application sandboxing. Okay, isolation or sandboxing. So we know about the sandboxing. What we can do, a particular application runs in a particular memory area, which is totally different from the other memory area. So if a particular application runs there, it will not have impact on other memory locations. Okay, so you can use the browser sandboxes, or you can use the application micro segmentation. Okay, to deal with the drive-by compromise attack, but it doesn't guarantee you 100% solution. Next one, exploit protection. So these browsers, Firefox, Chrome, Safari, Internet Explorer, all these browsers having some well-known vulnerabilities and even the zero-day vulnerabilities. So there is a possibility of exploitation of well-known vulnerability in your browser because you are accessing a particular website or any services, remote services using browser. So attacker may take the advantage of vulnerability in your browser. Okay, so better you keep all your browsers up to date. Okay, so it will at least make you secure against the well-known attacks. But what if there is a zero-day vulnerability in your browsers? So again, there is no solution for that. Okay. Next one is that restrict web page content. So nowadays, when we visit the websites, so lot of advertisements will come pop up. So there may be a malvertisement. Sometimes with the help of advertisements, the attackers will make you download something. Okay, you are clicking the deny button or cancel button, but they will do some sort of deception. Okay, so when you say the cancel button, something will be downloaded onto your computer. So better you restrict the web page content. Okay, so use the ad blockers. Okay, and use some script blocking extensions. Some extensions are available. They will block the scripts which are auto executable. Okay, this is another mitigation. Next one, keep all your softwares updated. Okay, all your browser plugins updated. Your browser itself and plugins, keep all those updated. Okay, and all the modern security features of your browser must be turned on. Okay, everything must be turned on. And the next one is a user training, the best solution I can say, because when we spoke about this drive-by compromise attack, we spoke about the phishing email, right, or spear phishing email. So I think even though there are multiple solutions are available, anti-phishing solutions are available, still phishing attacks are keep on happening. Okay, especially email-based phishing attacks are keep on happening, and because even attackers uses generative AI or the large language models to create the enticing email, which cannot be even detected by the anti-phishing solutions. So user training is very important. Train users to be aware of access or manipulation attempt by adversary to reduce the risk of successful spear phishing or social engineering based attacks. So you have to make user more aware about it. Then only you can stop the drive-by compromise attacks, because if the attacker uses the spear phishing email or attachment as a drive-by compromise, then it's totally up to the user whether to stop the attack or to fall victim to the attack. Okay, so user training is very important. So these are some of the potential mitigations, okay, of drive-by compromise attack. Now, next, what are the potential data sources can be monitored for the clue of data compromise, drive-by compromise attack? One is the application log. Okay, so you can use the firewalls and proxies to inspect the URLs. Okay, so every URL need to be inspected using the firewall or proxies for potentially bad domains or parameters. Okay, so there's sometimes you may be visiting a bad domain. Okay, which is not good. Okay, and you can perform some reputation based analytics also. So every domain, every URL, or every domain will have some sort of reputation, whether it is used for good purpose or whether it is that domain is used for malicious purpose. So that reputation based analysis need to be performed onto the domain websites, and accordingly your firewall will allow or deny you to access that particular URL. If it is a bad domain, there are chances of drive-by compromise attack onto your computer, so it will deny the access to those URLs. Okay, all if something is downloaded, automatically it will quarantine those things. Okay, So you can watch for the application logs. You can watch for the creation of new file, okay, into your computer. So when you are doing the browsing, okay, or you are on the browsing session, if something is downloaded without your consent, okay, something is downloaded, you didn't try to download anything, but something is downloaded without your consent. So look for such newly constructed files, okay. If something is downloaded, look for that, and if it is downloaded without your consent, then that is some sort of drive-by compromise attack attempt. Look for the browser process which is dropping files in suspicious location. So browser, because the file is downloaded using a browser, so maybe browser process is dropping files into some locations, maybe app data, temporary folder, or something like that, okay. Look for this. uh, Identify exploit payloads. So if there is a vulnerability in your browser, maybe there may be a DLL, okay, dynamic link library, or JavaScript or shell script will be loaded to your browser, okay. So look for those things, okay, and in that way you can look for these data sources for the drive-by compromise attack attempt. Then you can look for the network connection creation, okay. So if any, is there any new network connection is created, okay, to the untrusted host, because once your browser is compromised, then maybe the attacker is sitting within your browser, that is called man in the browser attack. So it may start the new network connection with the untrusted host to send or receive the data. So normally we do store a lot of sensitive data in the browsers in the form of, there is a password manager, all our website related credentials are there, maybe even cookie data, maybe session IDs related data, okay, those data are there. So maybe attacker will take that data and send it to some sort of untrusted host, means it will establish the new network connection. Look for such new network connections established to the browser, okay. Then look for the browser processes initiating the connection to the malicious domains. So there may be a list of malicious domains. If the browser process starts, initiates connection with the malicious domain, look for such thing. And detect a browser request to suspicious IPs and domains. So again, the same thing, okay. So you have to look for the new network connection, which is which is not a genuine connection, or which is some sort of bad connection, okay. Then monitor the network traffic content, because suspicious script execution over HTTP or HTTPS. Some JavaScript payloads are there, because nowadays the majority of web pages are dynamic, okay. So look for the JavaScript payloads, whether the payload is coming with the obfuscation, obfuscation. So there may be a malicious JavaScript payload, but to make it look genuine, or to make it look normal, attacker may use the obfuscation. If you are getting some obfuscated content, okay, then it is a sort of suspicious thing, okay. So look for exploit attempt in network payloads also, that is also. And the process creation. So maybe the after compromising your browser, there may be a new process will be created, and for a malicious purpose, okay. Look for the behavior onto the endpoint system or compromised system that might indicate successful compromise, such as abnormal behavior of browser processes. So maybe your browser process is consuming a lot of resources. Maybe your browser is infected with the ransomware, and that ransomware, by sitting in a browser, is stealing your data or encrypting your data. So look for the abnormal behavior of browser processes, browser related processes. So these are the some of the data points, data sources you can monitor for indication of drive-by compromise attack, okay. Anyway, these data sources are listed in the MITRE ATT&CK website, so you can have a look at that, okay. So the next one. So these are some of the mitigations I have discussed, and some of the data sources which need to be monitored closely for the drive-by compromise attack attempt. Now I will discuss the Chrome extension, to detect the unauthorized download. So what one of my student did, as a part of major project, I asked him to just develop some sort of browser extension which will identify the drive-by compromise attempt if the file is downloaded without user's consent, okay. So what he did, he created was a small Chrome extension, and it successfully detects unauthorized downloads, means the download which happened without user consent. So what it does basically, it will alert if the something is downloaded without user consent, then it will alert the user. It will give the desktop based notification, and it will give the email based notification also. It will generate the email based notification. Email based notification I'm not going to demonstrate. I will show you the desktop based notification. And post issuing the notification to the user, it will try to quarantine the file. It will quarantine the file. But quarantining the file may not help sometimes, because upon downloading the file get executed immediately because of auto run, if auto run is enabled. So by the time we are quarantining the file is not in a hard disk, it is loaded to your RAM. So quarantining the file may not work. So what we need to do, we need to identify the recently created process, okay, out of downloaded file, and we need to kill that process. Means the file is downloaded without my consent, and out of that it got executed automatically and a process is created out of it. So we need to kill that process. So I'm going to demonstrate to you the desktop notification and the file quarantine procedure. Okay. So let me go back again. So here, this is my machine. Okay. So I will just enter the password. So my web server is running here onto the virtual machine. And I have shown you the file also here. I have shown you that this file, upon visiting the particular web page, this file get downloaded to the user computer. Okay. So let me clean this folder. So let me delete all these files. Okay. So initially what was happening, whenever I am accessing this particular URL, whenever I am accessing this, then the file will be downloaded to my machine. Okay. And it won't show any pop-up. It won't show any pop-up. So here, basically this functionality, this notification also disabled, but I don't know, as my browser got updated, this notification it is showing again. So actually it was not showing. Okay. So it is also disabled. So means the user may not notice something is downloaded onto the computer. So something extra thing has to be there which will notify the user. Okay. So basically, as a user, I am just browsing the web page, but something is downloaded, which is suspicious thing. Okay. So what I will do now, I will close this again. I will clear my files here again. I will clear the file. Okay. And what I will do, I will enable the extension. Okay. So I will enable my extension. So here we created one extension here. So there are managed extensions. So here we created one Chrome extension. Okay, now I'm just making it on. Okay, this Chrome extension. I just don't want to go into the detail of how this extension got created and how it is, what is the technicalities behind that. So my student did all this work. So I just don't want to go into detail of that. So I just enable the extension. Okay, I just enabled it.
It's not visible.
Now,
please share it again.
Not visible. Okay, fine. Some problem is there. Maybe my screen is getting disconnected. So I will share it again. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, there is some problem at my end. So okay, so what I will do, I will try to demonstrate. So what I did, I have just enabled the extension, browser extension, because here there is extension. Okay, so this is the extension my student created. Okay, as a part of his project.
Sometimes you can
I will
share
just-
one screen. Okay, that's why if you shift your screen, then it's not visual.
No, I'm just sharing the entire screen. It's supposed to come. Okay.
No,
Wait.
entire screen is not work on Zoom.
Okay, wait. But I need to jump through multiple.
Reshare. Yes, sir. You have to reshare. Stop sharing and reshare that screen.
Okay, I will stop sharing. Sorry, that option is not there with me. Stop sharing. Already it is stopped. Okay, so I will do it again. Basically, I'm sharing the entire screen. So
Chrome is very problematic.
okay, is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is it visible? I'm just changing the screens.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, so okay. Okay, so I just enable this. I'm just enabling this Chrome extension. Okay, it's a okay. So it is created by my student. Okay, as a part of his project. So I'm just enabling it. Okay, and okay, there is some technicalities behind this how he created. I just don't want to go into the detail of that. Okay, so okay, I'm just enabling this extension. So post enabling this extension, what I will do now, just see there is nothing downloaded, no file is there into my download folder. So I will just do and repeat my steps again. Okay, so I will just access this particular URL again and just see here. So wait, I need to do it again. It got closed. Okay. So I will repeat the process again. So okay, fine. So okay, I will just access the URL again and just see here what happened basically. So something is downloaded in background, okay, and the user is redirected to the original web page, and here some notifications came, okay, and you see the file here. The basically the file which is downloaded, it is quarantined here, okay. It is quarantined means this file, all the permissions are revoked, and you see this file is basically quarantined, the same file. So this file can be a sort of executable file. Just for demonstration purpose, I have used the text file, but the similar way, a file can be quarantined. Okay, so okay, so I will repeat again. I will delete this and I will show you that notification. So basically, this notification used to come, but okay. So just see the notification came. We will see the notification here. So just see here. It is showing me that suspicious file is downloaded. A sort of a message it is showing to me. So it, you see here, it is showing me again. Okay, means now even though I didn't notice a download, okay, while browsing while accessing the URL, so I will get the separate notification that suspicious download detected, and then but by the time I will respond, definitely it is too late because of our reflex actions are very slow. So what we are doing, we are simply quarantining this file. We are just putting inside a folder and we are removing the permissions. So if it is executable, we can make it as a non-executable, but still it can be too late because a file, the downloadable attachment can be a very small in size, and upon downloading, what will happen, it will auto execute, so once it will be auto execute, and by the time I will go and quarantine, it will be too late, so what we can do, that what he did basically, as that file, a new process will be created out of downloadable executable. He is identifying that particular process, okay, and then we'll try to kill that particular process, the newly created process. So because every process will have a associated program. So what we'll do, we'll try to identify that particular newly created process. Upon getting the notification, we'll try to identify that newly created process, and we'll try to kill it. Okay, but still there are some, attacker may make may use some tricks to make maybe may confuse you or fool you. Okay, so that is a possible is there. So the point is, the if your browser is vulnerable, there are vulnerabilities are there, attacker may disable your security features, your notification features, so you can have something on top of that, some sort of solution you can have on top of it. So this is one solution he did as a part of his project. Okay, a small solution he implemented. Some features are not working because this browser got updated. So we are getting the desktop notification. Okay, and email notification also works. I'm not showing this. It is quarantining the file, but we are too late in quarantining the file. Then what we can do, we can identify the process and kill it. In that way, we can do the things. Okay, so it happens like this. You will get an alert message, and the download file will be quarantined. If it is not auto executable, then it's fine. This solution is fine. But if it is auto executable, if user interaction is not required, then you need to have the different sort of solution to deal with this situation. Okay. Okay. So this is what happens basically. The users visits the malicious web page. Okay. So user don't know that he is visiting a malicious page. User thinks that he is visiting the genuine page. So user will be redirected to the malicious web page, and from there it will be he or she will be immediately redirected to the genuine web page. So user is looking at the genuine web page, but in between a file will be downloaded. So what this Chrome extension is doing, that it is identifying whether these because when we download the file on our own, suppose I want to download a software, maybe any Java software, or any software I want to download from the internet, then I will click the download button. Then it will show me some sort of message that your download has started, and slowly it will take me to the another page. If possibly it may take to me to the another page, because as you downloaded the software, the company want to advertise you some more products to you. So there is some sort of delay in redirection. But here, when actual drive by compromise attack scenario happens, what will happen? Attacker don't want you to see the page, malicious page. Attacker don't want you to see that page, and attacker immediately want to take you to the redirect you to the original page. So if we see some that time, if we measure that time, some sort of study is conducted to measure that time, that how fast the normal redirection happens, and sorry, how slow. Okay, so what is the standard time for normal redirection, and what is the time in case of drive by compromise happens, the redirection among the pages? That logic can be used, and it will be identified. So if it is a time is too high, because user is noticing both the pages, user is seeing both the pages, means that's not a drive by compromise attempt, because user is able to notice both the pages. So if user is accessing the SBI website, but in between he is seeing another web page, then he may get suspicious, and he will come to know that something is wrong. But redirection happens so fast, user may not notice or see the malicious page. He will directly go to the another page, but something is downloaded in between that can be considered as a suspicious thing. It will trigger the desktop and email based alert, and it will quarantine the file. And in the one more step, we may identify which is the new process created, and browser process or any other process is created, and we can kill that process. In that way, the solution may work. So I cannot say this solution is a kind of perfect solution. It's a some sort of it gives the alert message, at least a notification, and it quarantines the file. But some more work needs to be done. Okay, so this way you can have your own solutions, and okay, so on top of existing things. So the limitations of this are the missed detection. Sometimes what will happen, there may be a race conditions in browser events, because there are also some sort of the browser events, there is a race condition. Okay, so sometimes a few things may happen very fast, which will go undetected. Okay, and maybe your notification may not pop up, so that will give you or the notification will not pop up, means it gives you the false sense of security, means you feel that everything is all right, but something went wrong. There may be a auto run exploit, so we have demonstrated only with the textual file, but actually when the malicious attachments downloaded through drive by compromise, those will be auto run exploits, means they don't require human interaction to execute, they will be executed without human interaction. So in this case, this situation needs to be taken care of. There will be a browser dependency, browser APIs or native messaging. Okay, so browser updates, if I update the browser, my extension features may not work. Sometimes it may block my extension also, this possibility is there. Okay, so it will break or limit the functionality of the proposed extension. And the false positive for redirection, sometimes what will happen, if in the normal browsing session also, if the redirection happens, user downloaded something and the redirection happens, user downloaded intentionally a particular software or file, and the redirection happens very fast. In that case also, it will trigger the alert, that it will say that it's an attempt of drive by compromise. Then it will give the some sort of false positive, some limitations are there. Okay, so those need to be taken care of. Okay, so this is all about the drive-by compromise. So I have demonstrated a small drive-by compromise attack attempt, and okay, and we have detected that attack attempt using the Chrome extension, and we quarantined the file successfully. Okay, so this is all about the drive-by compromise session, and if any questions are there, I'm happy to take those questions. Hello. Is there any question?
Yes, any questions? In chat
Okay,
box
there are
also
some
can-
there are some questions are there in chat box. Can deactivating automatic downloading also be mitigating prevention or not, sir? Okay, so no, we cannot say. So if you are deactivating the automatic download, so what will happen? Sometimes it will affect your normal functionality also. Okay, so that is one sort of solution you can say, but definitely it will affect the normal functionality also. Okay, so it will affect the normal functionality because some file which are uploaded onto the server, those are automatically those will be downloaded upon visiting a web page or upon clicking a link. Otherwise sometimes you have to click them manually. Okay, so it depends. So once the malicious bat file downloaded in domain environment, what to do next to secure our domain network? Once the malicious bat file downloaded in domain network, what to do next to secure our domain network? Okay, just that's what I'm saying. Just try to quarantine it as early as possible. Just try to detect it, quarantine it. Okay, and if you are late in quarantining, identify the process, kill that process as soon as possible. Okay, that's what you can do. This kind of malicious attack can happen on mobile phone browser. Yes, it's possible. It's possible. Okay, so there are 3 questions in chat box. I have answered all those 3. Any more questions?
If no, sir, then you can stop again at. You continue, sir, with this one.
No, sir. I need a break because some urgent work came in my
Okay,
office.
no problem, no problem. Sir,
So we
12
can
o'clock.
start it, sir. Yes, we can start at 12.
Sir, at
Okay,
12
we can.
o'clock we start or 12:30 as you have some work.
We can start at 12:15, sir. 12:15 we'll
Okay,
start.
12:15. Okay,
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 I will
fine.
inform accordingly.
Okay,
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 sir, thank you very much.
okay. Thank you.